Well, Shav, thanks for joining us here. We've spoken to a few drivers already, and they've mentioned asymmetric setup. Could you help us explain what that is and why you would run a car in that way for this circuit?
Yeah, this track, if you think when we were last running on here, it was unusual in that all the right-handers are very, very fast corners, the left-handers are mid and low speed. And what you need for those different corner ranges is quite different on the car. So things like the camber, obviously if you get the inside wheel, you might want to stand that up a bit just so it's not going so far over in the high speed. You can do things with mechanical balance as well and cross weight. So it becomes a bit like a chair with a short leg, but you can make it pointier in one way, more stable in the other. And even the roll of the car, you don't need to set it up flat. But the issue is what you gain in one direction, you tend to lose in the other. So it's quite a fine balance, and often you find you're just compromising a fast right-hander for a slow left-hander.
The upgrades, we didn't really see them come into fruition in Monaco for obvious reasons, a very different track to this one. What are you expecting for this circuit?
Well, what we need to do is run the car and see what we get. I think, we've had a lot of years in Monaco where we've taken a really good car that's been winning all the races. We've got to Monaco and we've struggled. So it's not a great barometer of performance. Barcelona, on the other hand, well, that's your classic test track that, you often would wait to this race in a season to really see how everyone's stacked up. They'd all brought the European updates. So we want to see what we get. We're hoping that we've improved the overall performance of the car just with more downforce. We've put a lot of focus on the sort of mid and high speed as well, because early on that was an area we were poor. So hopefully we'll be a bit happier in those new fast corners there. And we've also done a bit of work on the front suspension. So we've changed the angle of that wishbone, the top wishbone, and what we're doing there is playing with the anti-dive geometries. We've lifted that up, trying to change the platform control, so the way that when you hit the brakes, how does the suspension react to that, getting a bit of performance from the vehicle dynamics to make that a bit better. So, as I said, we're open-minded about what we're going to get. We just want to understand what are the gaps, where are we quick, where are we slow, what do we need to work on, because we are expecting to have to do a bit more work, but really just getting that clear direction.
One of the things before you go, we saw some tasty shots of the Red Bull floor and the Mercedes floor in Monaco as they got craned way up into the sky. It's an area we obviously never get to see of the cars. What do you take from that? Does that information get studied back at base? All teams will be looking at the photos, and I suspect that they're looking a bit more at the Red Bull ones than the Mercedes or the Ferrari ones. There's certainly, you can get ideas about what they're trying to do with flow structures, where they might be going with the development direction. If you look at last year, you look at this year, you can understand a bit about what they're doing there. But the reality is, while those pictures can give you a bit of inspiration or an idea, it's not as simple as let's copy that, put it on our car, and we'll be as quick as they are. It's definitely not a case of that. And sure.
The reality is you've got to focus the vast amount of your effort on understanding your own car and developing from there. So I think a little bit of inspiration, but not much more than that.
Well, Shav, best of luck for the weekend, and thanks so much for the explainers.
Thank you very much.